All right.
Entrance, take 2.
Action.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Moliski, and welcome to ReelTalk, where we get hot, spicy, and to the drama. Richard and Jessica. Okay, I have been dying to interact with you as a couple. You guys are my goals in life.
Oh, thank you.
I think so many of us just look at you guys and we're like, I want a family like this. And it's Valentine's Day. So I'm just so excited to talk about love and just get to know your relationship, how you guys met and everything. And especially with, you know, we work at Real Short in so many amazing series. They're all pretty love focused. So I'd love to focus on a real couple instead of a make-believe couple now. What's that like, right? Tell me what's it like to not be acting in love? What's it like to be just in this like beautiful relationship?
Well, you can take that. Yeah, take a lead on that one.
I think it's something that like it started as a whirlwind, and I feel like we just keep it up to make sure it stays that way. We've been married. We're coming up on a decade.
Yeah,
10 years in December. So
she's like the curious case of Benjamin, but she ages backwards.
I was gonna say, wait, what is this warlock thing out here?
The magic spell doesn't age at all.
Not at all.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Where did you guys meet?
So that's like a little complicated.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear that. Okay.
So I was working at Disney World at the time, and you were, where were you?
I was in LA. And then
Yeah.
what's funny is that it was a very close friend of mine. I did a couple of shows with him in the past. And so his wife knew that I was, dating around and stuff like that. And she would always roll her eyes and make fun of he's like, I know the perfect girl for you. And she set us up. It was actually your distant cousin, like first cousin or something.
Yeah, so distant. I had no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
She
Exactly.
was.
But when she set me up, she was just like, I got the perfect girl for you. Stop chasing these flashy ones. And I was like, all right, blind dates. I'm sure you've been on them. They're horrible.
No.
It's like, exactly. You're like, no.
I've never.
But
You've never been on a blind date?
No, and that's why even you guys just talking about being set up is almost so foreign to me.
Yeah.
Because that's not how you date anymore. It's almost old-fashioned.
It is, yeah. You know how Netflix has those things where they do love at first sight or like Love is Blind or whatever?
Yeah.
Where they actually make you interact with your personality first before you actually meet them. We kind of, oddly enough, had our own version of that. Yeah. Because she was in Orlando.
We were opposite coast.
We were on opposite coast. She was in Orlando working as princess. And then...
What princess?
So Princess Aurora and Ariel were my two best friends
with the tail,
there.
just like flapping
You
the
had
tail.
the tail?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, this is a whole other segment.
I know. It was so much fun. It's so much. I mean, you get paid to make someone's day. I mean, who doesn't love that?
And you just automatically have this aura that is princess person.
Nice. You're nice.
Beautiful cloud fairy.
No.
She'll never brag about it, but I'll do it for her.
Sure.
She was so phenomenal and great with the kids that they actually chose her to be the one that did the Make-A-Wish interactions. So
sometimes
Disney World actually has their own Make-A-Wish hotel specifically for them whenever their wish is to meet the princesses and go to Disney World. And then Jessica would be the princess for that interaction. And it was phenomenal. You'll have women, the mothers, of course, off camera just crying the whole time because their little babies are interacting with a princess.
Oh my gosh.
I
believe it.
Yeah, I remember one time there was this little boy who came in, and if I get emotional, please stop me.
No.
But this little boy came in to see Aurora, and we were talking about fighting dragons and all that stuff. And the mom just started crying, and she was like, "Yeah, he's been fighting these dragons all the time."
Yeah.
He actually was able to overcome it, and so that was just a really memorable moment for me, because you can see in real time how you affect people and how maybe my interaction helped them, but it helped me too. I thought it was just such a beautiful experience to have had. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so, so grateful that I got to have it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, what a beautiful gift for both of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that really just tracks with you. You are just a fairy princess,
nice.
so beautiful human.
No.
Oh my gosh. Well,
But
okay,
yeah,
so
to build on that, like we were separate on separate coasts, and oddly enough, I know we talked about it a little bit before.
wait, so were you texting?
We were texting.
Yeah.
We were on Facebook. We were just messaging each other.
Okay, so hold on. So you got her number
Yeah.
or Facebook
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
back then Facebook was the thing we
It was
used.
the thing, yeah, we used. And I was like,
We're
hey.
aging ourselves.
Were you just
I was
like,
sliding
need
into
every
DMs.
detail. I
seriously
need
was.
every
I
detail.
was like, hey, Michelle. Her name's Michelle. And I was like, Michelle gave me your number.
Yeah.
I'm Richard.
Were you like, who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Exactly.
Yeah.
Were you like, are you a fan?
It was like so bizarre. And then he was
Stalker. Just kidding.
and then like you were filming.
I was filming the Star Wars commercial.
Yeah.
I was-
it all full circle.
I know, it's full circle.
Okay.
How
So
weird
he
is that?
was like on Kid History set filming, and he was dressed as a
I was Chewbacca.
Yeah,
I was
Chewbacca.
So you're both these like
I know.
crazy
So he's
characters.
I know.
sending me this like
We were
costumed up.
we were
like,
FaceTiming
Wookiee.
each other, and I'm literally walking around the Mos Eisley Cantina bar set
Yeah.
as Chewbacca, and she's Aurora.
we need
Yeah.
some.
I should have been like Belle instead. Like
I
I
know,
feel like it would've
exactly.
tracked
That would have tracked better.
Yeah.
That would have been
Right.
on like IP. But
Oh my gosh, we have to have some show of Chewbacca meets Aurora.
meets Aurora, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great vertical. Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sounds- somebody needs to write that one.
Next great idea.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I need all the juicy details on this. So you got her info. You guys start casually talking. You realize he's not a creepy weirdo because your first cousin hooked it up.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're like, okay. So you're texting. It's going well. It's cute.
Yeah.
He's not weird. And then you start FaceTiming.
Yeah, and then we're
We didn't even FaceTime.
Oh.
No, yeah, we just messaged, and then like a month went by, and we finally did like our first like meetup, and we did our first date.
Yeah.
What was the first meetup?
You took me to a fancy dinner.
yeah.
Where LA? Is this LA or Florida?
Where was it?
It was actually up in Utah because her family they have a place in Park City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's all over the map.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
literally.
Where
all
are
over.
we?
I know,
Yeah,
exactly.
are we just
That's why it's
Star Wars?
complicated.
Yeah.
We just decided to go everywhere. Yeah, we met up in Park City.
Yep.
And then you had a movie.
Yeah.
Because he's all about storytelling. He's all about movies. It was a movie called Intouchables.
Untouchable, yeah.
And it's about a man who pen pals this woman.
Stop. Did you
Forever.
write it?
No, it's a famous French film.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
so
I was like,
it-
all right.
I know it's really obscure.
It's almost like he wrote it.
I'm one of those
Yeah.
guys, but like I made fun of the fact that we were pen pals for so long, and then he finally meets his like love interest at the end of the movie, and then they fall in love, obviously. So I was like, it's kind of like our story, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up going
Very
through like
suave. Very suave.
great dinner. Obviously, the chatter and everything is great. The personalities clicked and stuff, and then we watched that movie at night, and
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, and then you took me on your motorcycle afterwards for ice cream.
Oh.
He-
I've heard the motorcycle is like a third party in
Exactly.
this
Yes.
relationship.
Oh my gosh, him and his motorcycle. I'm surprised I made it into that love triangle.
I know. The date nights were phenomenal. It was great because like we would literally, because it was your first time, obviously, like being on a motorcycle. But then I was like, well, look at this. Like we can eat dinner here, we can go get dessert here, and then we can go get after. Like we would literally almost like a treasure map. We were like,
Yeah.
X
Oh, we
marks the-
still do that.
We still
That's
do
like
that.
our favorite thing.
Yeah.
We don't eat at one place. We eat at several places.
Oh.
Like appetizers
Yeah.
here,
Yep.
dinner there, like motorcycle.
It's kind of
you
but
can
that. I don't know how we're
anywhere.
not 300 pounds because like everything
Right.
is just food related. We're
Yeah.
like, we gotta try this, we gotta try that. But on a motorcycle, you can do that, especially in LA. When we moved here. And we actually started attacking all of LA's eat spots. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, there's so many.
Yeah.
But you could do it. Like you start up in the valley, then you could drop down into the Santa Monica, like go down to Venice, and then pop into like WeHo. And you can do that on a bike in just a matter of like 10 or 15 minutes.
And
So-
it's fun traveling.
so much
no
fun,
one
yeah.
like we're in the car today for an hour and a half.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's
Miserable,
miserable.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm the one who zips right by you and says, bye.
Right, and you're like,
Yeah.
deuces. So you guys probably kept texting.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And then how did it blossom into a real relationship?
I mean, we just kept visiting each other.
Mhm.
You waited in line to meet me.
Oh, I can do a crazy story. So this is it. So I grew up actually just 4 bros. I had no sisters. So this whole princessing stuff was like completely new to me. And so I was like, we were pretty serious now. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go surprise her. So I bought a ticket and I flew to Orlando. And I was like, I'm gonna go meet her when she's princessing.
Oh.
I did not know that people wait 3 hours to meet a princess. and I'm pretty big, And so it's
Sure.
like there's like me in line alone. And then all these little girls and their dads, the dads are like, so what's up? It's like,
Why are you here?
What
What?
is this
I know.
guy's like a
I know, I'm
sketchy
like,
man?
guys, I swear I'm just not creepy. Like,
They're
I
like,
know-
he's
I
at
know the
Disney
prin- I
alone.
know the
Someone
princess,
call the
yeah.
cops.
I know the princess. And so, yeah,
I
he was-
remember there was a boy in line and he was like, I don't want to meet the princesses. And you're like, it's the coolest thing.
I know, he was trying to be too cool for school. Yeah.
It was fun.
So I gassed him up, and like the parents were like laughing. They were
Yeah.
like, thank you for that, because he was trying to be like, I want to meet him, like, whatever. Because his sister was waiting in line.
Right.
And then he meets Jessica, and he's like,
He's like,
I know, he's like, literally, they're like deer in headlights.
for sure.
Because like to them, they're meeting like Brad Pitt or something. Like, to them, it's like this huge thing, personality that they've interacted with millions of times of watching these princesses as kids. I mean, I even shared a story with you. Like the animated movies and stuff are very impactful.
Oh yeah.
If you like, you rewatch them, you watch them, they mean something, and then all of a sudden you get to meet one. It's crazy.
And especially as a kid.
As a kid, yeah.
Oh. So when you got up to the front of the line, did you see him in the line at all? Or were you genuinely, were you like,
Yeah, I didn't see him because you can't really see the line.
okay.
I mean, not to get too technical. You
I
can't
know.
really see the line. Like they just come in like little
Separate you,
groups.
yeah.
And so he came in as a group and
Yeah.
totally,
She's like, what?
yeah, blew me away. I was so shocked. So
We-
Did you
probably-
come out of character?
I did stumble a bit, I'll be honest. Yeah. But I was surprised.
I know.
'Cause Richard,
I'm pretty smart. Like, I know
Of course you
Yeah.
are.
He actually made me like
Yeah.
speechless.
it was so funny because there's certain kids, when you meet them, they're either really talkative with you or they're really talkative in line. And then when they meet you, they just like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
they're just like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
exactly. They freeze.
And you, like Richard's a talker and he's
Yeah.
nothing. And he's like, you have beautiful eyes.
I know. I swear. I was taking it all in. Hey, let me defend myself. No, but I swear, I was speechless. I was just like, whoa, because when she's all dressed up as Aurora, like I swear to you, it literally looked like she walked out of the pages of the fairy tales.
Mhm.
And like I saw her walk around, and I was just like, oh my god, you are Aurora.
So when did you guys get to the point of where you realized like, oh, I'm in love with this person? Like, how did you have that feeling? How did you know it was real? Because I feel like sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
How did you know?
How did you know? Yeah.
So I feel like it doesn't just come at once. It's always like this progression as time goes on. He's very suave, did all the things. Like he loves making like movie moments.
Oh my gosh.
And so he like kind of leads his life that way. And so being with him was just like movie moment after movie moment. Like we went on like a motorcycle ride in New York. Like we stayed up until the sun came up. He came to visit me, at work. And there's just like so many like magical moments along the way. And like we were coming home from like, we were in New York and we just saw a play, I think.
Yep.
And we were just walking. It was like 2 a.m. And I don't know. I just looked at him and I was like, oh, it just like settled in my heart. I'm like, this is what love is. Like, I didn't know that this is like, I have felt love before, but I didn't know I could love this deeply, if that makes any sense. And like, that's when it really hit me like, oh, I am in love with this man. And not just because he makes everything like a movie, but it's because he puts in the effort to make things magical, to make things
for
wonderful.
you.
For me, yeah. And that shows like, I feel like people think that like magic and movie moments like come out of thin air. And like, I'm sure Real Shorts knows all about this. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of things that it takes to make these magical moments. And he was willing to put in that effort for me. And I'm willing to put it back for him. And I can just see that I knew that if we just like continued this way, our life would always be magical because we would make sure that we took care of each other, that we loved each other, and that we put each other first. And so, yeah, that was it for me. I don't know.
What Richard, 1 second. So for you, can you give a word of advice to the girlies watching this? Because I feel like it's, unfortunately, nowadays, a lot of guys don't put that much effort in. It's like they don't even want to like pay for your dinner or even like text you back or like, it's like so hard to know if a guy likes you even. And what would you say? I don't know if you had boyfriends before Richard, but just like how did you realize like, oh, I can have a standard for myself and I can have a love like this?
Yeah.
What would you say for girls who are like yearning for something like that?
I feel like in the past, I would date people who you were never really sure where you stood. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's relatable to everyone. Like, you never know where you stand, the games, like things like that. When I met him, like, after like our first date, like 2 weeks later, you wanted me to meet your parents. Like, you were like,
I can explain that.
No, honestly, I love it though.
Yeah. And like, I just knew like he is sure about me. Now I can like think about how I feel about him. And like, I hadn't been in that position before. And so like, I think my advice would be, don't waste your time with people who aren't sure about you. Like, and have the confidence to understand like what's important to me. Like, I felt like so many times because I was insecure about where our relationship is, I would try so hard for them. And I would constantly think about like, what do they need? What do they need? And I forgot, what do I need? And he gave me because he was confident and assured in me, I was able to be like, okay, what do I want? And what things do I like about him? What would be like a good lifelong partner for me? And so yeah, that assurity, just being confident in yourself to not settle for something that doesn't feel stable.
So Richard, what about you? When did you know that you were in love?
I always make the joke that I knew the moment I first saw her.
Yeah.
And I really do believe in the things of like, there's higher powers and like fate involved and stuff like that. And for someone who's so free will and will like charge at life and do everything, I do actually feel like there's a bigger purpose and stuff. And I always chase that. So maybe that's another added element to the fact that I can chase things with reckless abandon. But to, I guess, expand a little bit more on the New York City thing.
Yeah.
It did take some orchestration. It's like, when I do chase these create movie moments for my life, but now I was creating movie moments for like the love of my life. And so I called up ahead. And so when I did my undergrad at NYU, your first year is mandatory NYU housing. So they put me down in Chinatown, like the middle of nowhere. And I'm always eating. And so I was like, they didn't even have food service at this one. So I had to get up in the morning and I'm like, get in the subway. I was miserable. I would go to another dorm that had food service, get to the cafeteria and finally eat. And I was just like, dude, this sucks. And then I realized I have a chance of a lifetime here. It's once in a lifetime. I live in New York City. I get to call it home. And I felt like a rat. I was underground all the time. I was always in the subway. I was waiting. It was cold. It was like miserable. And so me and my buddies got together and we're like, you know what, let's change this. And so we got on Craigslist and bought these dinky, crappy motorcycles. And then my entire life switched.
And in New York.
In New York City, exactly. And I learned how to ride a bike dodging cabs.
Did you ever get hit?
No, I actually laid it out once. It was 3 a.m. in the middle of nowhere though. And it was just, I did the rookie move.
Skid? Or?
Yeah, that's it. I did a break on gravel and it might as well have been ice. It just went right from under me.
Oof.
That's a whole side story.
Yeah, we don't talk about that much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, I always make the joke. She hates it. She always rolls her eyes at me. But like all of like history and time is like, before Christ, after Christ. Like my life is before bike, after bike. that's my line of demarcation.
Oh, Jess.
That's how much my life changed.
Oh dear.
Okay, that's how much my life changed on a motorcycle. So like imagine tearing up Manhattan of all places on a motorcycle. And then Friday nights, weekends, you name it, like you're zipping across Brooklyn Bridge to get pizza. Then you're going into Times Square. Then you're like, you're going on the West Side Highway, like upper West Side. You can drop down into Canal. Like you can go to Chinatown and get dumplings. Like I'm telling you, like it was everything opened up because you're on a motorcycle.
Right.
And she would hear all these crazy stories that I would tell about when I did this. And I was like, I want to recreate that, but with the love of my life. And so I called up ahead of time when we were flying and I'm like, my buddies still live there. And I'm like, can I borrow your bike? And he's like, of course. So he left me with 2 helmets and 2 motorcycle gloves. And we tore up Manhattan.
Were you scared?
I mean, I'm a secret thrill seeker.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's the one who leans in and is like, go back.
Oh, yeah. You're oh my God, so princess, so you wouldn't think. It's like, let's go.
I know.
My dad had bikes growing up, and so he would always like do wheelies on it and like whip us on. So that was like, Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fun.
It really was like a cinematic moment because I would recreate and tell her all these stories that I had from doing this back when I was an undergrad.
Yeah.
You'd always at this taco place right here, and then like La Esquina.
Yeah, we went everywhere.
And then I went to go get pizza, and like the owner still remembered me because I was like the first time I went there with a group of friends, and the owner, he's really cool. He would come over to the tables and be like, "So how was it?"
Yeah.
And I didn't skip a beat. I was like, "Dude, this is so good. There's like Papa John's, Pizza Hut, but you're like a close third." And he just goes, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Yeah, of course.
I know he lost it. He thought it was funny, but I was like, but then we got close after that. But then of course I brought Jessica, and I introduced it, and then all of a sudden we're done with that. Give him a big hug, and then I just took off again. There's a diner.
Oh, yeah, I remember the diner.
What diner?
It's the banana walnut.
That's it. Yeah, the
pancakes.
banana walnut pancakes.
Yeah.
So my buddies and I, we're still 4 college kids, you know, and
Sure.
especially playing like NYU of all places.
Yeah.
So there's the big fancy places in New York City where you could drop like thousands of dollars. We didn't go there. We went to these just really grimy, like in the middle of nowhere diners.
Which are the best.
Which are the best, exactly. And so there's one in Greenwich Village where you could go, and me and my buddies were regulars. They knew that when the motorcycles came there,
The boys.
that's the boys.
The
there.
NYU boys.
NYU boys. We'd sit down, it's like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and we
Yeah.
would order these banana walnut pancakes, like the whole platter. And when I sat down, and they didn't skip a beat, they're like, "Richard, who's this?" And so I was like, "This is Jessica." And they're like, "You want the same?" The same. They remembered.
know.
Yeah, they knew. I was like,
That was cool.
talk about like movie mode. Like that was so cool for me. And then it was like after we're done at the diner, we check in. I was like, oh my God, it was like what, 6 a.m., 7? The sun was coming up. So I had to go make my way back to a place we were staying at in the Upper West Side. And so we're going up Broadway. And when you drive up, when you're going north, the horizon, the sun comes up right. Oh my! It was like we're driving back, and the sun is rising as we're coming back home. And it's like, I want to have these movie moments for the rest of my life with this woman. Like those are those kind of things that hit close, and I was just like, that's cool. But it did take a lot of effort, Colin. Like I was prepping everything. I knew how to make like that
behind
whole thing.
behind the scenes. Yeah.
And to piggyback what she was saying, it's like you got to find someone who is willing to put in all that effort and work for you because because that's just normal. They want to do that for you. It's not something that's like begrudging, like, oh God, now I got to do this.
The ball and chain.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like, I actually would always get angry when people would, because now that we're married, we have like married couples and married friends and stuff like that. And like the guys that always talk about ball and chain, I'm just like, especially in front of their significant others, I'm just like,
I know.
like why did you marry her then? You know, you just
It's
like,
sometimes crazy when you're with another couple and you start to see, you know, them being like, no, babe, like, why? Or like they're like fighting and you're just like, you look at your partner and you're like, ooh, hope we don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't want to ever do that. And that actually leads me into my next question for you guys is you've been together for so long and you have such a fun, exciting relationship. How do you guys keep it alive still? And do you guys still do these big movie moments, or how do you not get bored, kind of? Because it happens.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, we made a commitment like way before we had kids. We're like, every year we're going to do like a big trip. We love to travel. We love to do things together. We're like, we're going to do a big trip, just us. And so like every year we've been like going to Greece, Scotland, like doing all these fun things. And like, we get to have those like movie moments again. And then I feel like a lot of people really take for granted like the mundane everyday. We really make it a point to like romanticize our life. Even if it's just like you drinking like a coffee in the morning. Some people just grab a to-go cup and run out the door. It's like you get up early, you sit with like your favorite mug, you watch the sunrise, you know, like stuff like that. Like there's just so many easy ways to romanticize your life. And then there's easy ways to like romanticize yourselves as a couple. And so like, you know, when Richard comes home, like he'll orchestrate like a really fun movie night and get the kids involved and get the popcorn and make it like a themed Star Wars night or a theme, you know, like there's simple ways to make your life magical, like on a day-to-day basis. And I feel like we really try to uphold that.
Do you have kind of general tips for people that might be feeling just a little stagnant in their relationship, or it's just kind of like, you know, sometimes you could just like, it could just be, you're talking about work a lot or like the kids or something. How do you guys do steps to be like, okay, like now it's like our time. Like we're going to like focus on like mom and dad right now. And like, what are some tips?
The biggest advice, at least for me, it works for me. And I tell people like, maybe it works for you or not. I always try to look at it like some people fall into the trap of when they get married, it's almost like the trophy that you finally got, and then you can put it on a shelf and then focus on other things. I actually try to almost trick yourself into thinking like you never have possession of the prize.
Nothing's permanent.
Nothing's permanent. In fact, you almost treat it like you're still dating. And so you never, even as long as we've been married, it's like I'm still trying to court her. I'm still trying to be like, how can I do this on a Friday night that would make her go, ah? And it's like, and you have to really think outside the box now because it's been like 9 years now.
Right.
But still, it's like, that's at least a quick little trick for me is that you always just remind yourself, it's like, it's not a trophy that I can put on a shelf. It's like, I'm constantly trying to court her and date her. And then it doesn't matter how many years of marriage we have, I'm still trying to date her.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of like click into that mindset.
Yeah, I think
Right.
it's just remembering like those beginning feelings that you had. They don't go away, you know? So it's like tapping into like, why did I fall in love with this person? What makes them so special to me? And now I know him even more. So like I can do way more things that cater. Like I think people think you run out of stuff to do or talk about. And I'm like, no, I know him so much more. I have so much more that I can give to him and vice versa. And I
So
think that's
what's crazy
important.
is that like we always try to like outdo each other on like how you can do something to surprise them for their birthday. She got me the coolest gift ever one year for my birthday, and I was like, all right, what's she gonna do? Like I've seen her do this, I've seen her do that, and then she's just like, I know how much you love motorcycles, and she just leaned into it, and she got me this thing in San Diego called Wheelie University.
Oh yeah.
And they teach you how to do wheelies on bikes. And so I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. So like, yeah, she just let me go. I got to go do it. I hung out with a bunch of other motorcyclists. And then we all were like learning how to do wheelies on this like contraption that the guy made and had a patent for. I know it would like he would crank it and let you do a higher and higher wheelie as the more, confident that you got in it. And like the whole day I was on cloud nine. I was like, this is freaking cool.
It seems that you guys have such a strong trust between each other and such a strong foundation. And would you say that that's kind of how you guys make it work, is that foundation and keeping it so concrete?
I think it goes back to like, I've known that he has been sure of me since day one.
There it is,
and I
right?
never have to worry about it. I don't worry about it at all. It doesn't even cross my mind. In fact, I get excited to meet his co-stars. I get excited to like, see all the stuff he did. I'm so proud. Like, I'm so proud of him. And
yeah, all the co-stars actually lose it when they're like, I get to meet the princess.
Yeah, like,
I was like, I get to. Yeah.
Well, I think also for people watching, that's just another lesson with you can find someone who makes you feel that way. Like they are out there. You don't have to feel insecure. Do they like me? You shouldn't have to feel that way because when you don't feel that way, it is so much better.
yeah,
It really
it's a
is.
big difference. Yeah.
So we have a really fun segment. It's called How Well Do You Know Each Other?
Here we go.
So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you guys are going to let me know how well you know each other.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's start the love segment. What is Richard's favorite basketball team?
Oh my gosh. I hope I get this right.
Oh no! Let's say it.
What'd you say?
Lakers.
Lakers.
Kobe.
Lakers. Okay. Kobe. What is Jessica's favorite karaoke song? Once upon a time.
I remember the name.
No way. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's karaoke, but I sing it to my daughter every night for bed. So
that does count.
it's karaoke
It
in
is.
my mind.
Where does Richard want to travel to next? Let's see it. Oh!
Again? Yeah.
What did you
I
want?
put Antarctica.
Oh,
I'm trying to get all 7 continents. That's what I'm trying to do.
What's Jessica's pet peeve? Not being kind. Oh,
Okay. Oh my gosh, I did it. I did it, yeah.
No, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
There was this boy, like probably 16, 17, and he was sitting at Krispy Kreme just like burning CDs for like a new track that he was doing.
Oh.
And people were just
okay.
people were like whispering and like laughing about it.
Oh.
And like I feel like the world's harsh enough already.
For sure.
Why not like add joy to it instead of try to take it away? He saw how upset I was about it, so he like went and got his mixtape and bought it and like started talking to him, and it was really sweet.
Oh my gosh, you guys are not real people. So the injustice of that.
Yeah, exactly.
What is Richard's go-to comfort food? Steak and sushi. Oh
You
my
both-
gosh.
Hey, you nailed it. course.
They are the perfect couple. What is Jessica's top love language to give? 3, 2, 1, let's see them.
I broke it down.
But physical touch for Richard, because I know that's his love language. I think like going to like the kindness thing or leaving good wherever you go. I like to do words of affirmation.
She loves it whenever you tell her amazing things. But I took it outside of the relationship actually, and like which one she likes to give. So when she's extremely thoughtful when she gives people gifts, like her closest friends and even people like, acts of service. And then those moments that she shares with people, when I get stopped or like, when people recognize me, she's the first to know that these 30-second or 60-second interactions can change a lot of stuff and are very impactful. So she's actually the first one to be like, hey, you want to take a picture? And she takes the picture, she takes the camera from him. And she's so good at giving people this quality of time with that little 30-second increment that she knows, is very impactful with people.
So I don't know if we got that right or wrong. But
I don't really know.
Yeah.
The question is ambiguous.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you guys obviously touched upon your relationship, how it all got started, and you have a beautiful family too.
I think we do.
You
did
100%
You did pretty good. Yeah.
You did really good. You did really good. So how do you two create magical moments that include your family?
Oh, I mean, I'm really passionate about creating magical moments for my kids. I think like it just comes to everything. Like holidays are a really big deal to me. Richard was definitely blown away the first time he came to my family's house for holidays.
Yeah.
We really,
They amp it up.
yeah,
On
we
max,
get
on
all into it.
Yeah.
And so we do like, my kids talk about like the breakfast, like we make, like for Valentine's Day, we make like heart pancakes and I give them like little cups with strawberry milk and, they're just like, they get so excited for it. We play like Valentine bingo. We do heart-shaped food the whole day. And we also like put little hearts on their door every day leading up to Valentine's Day where we put what we love about, like certain things that we love about our kids. And they get excited to read it every morning.
Oh my gosh, you're the best mother ever.
No. I don't know about that, but I do. I love keeping like childhood pure for them. It's like we're the parents and we're like giving them a place where they still believe in magic and they still like have so much wonder for the world. And I think like if I can prolong that as long as possible and like have them believe in magic and have them believe in themselves, like I just feel like that'll help them as they grow old and like life's hard enough. Like I want to preserve their childhood as long as possible.
Oh my God, I'm getting emotional. Well, it seems like you guys are so aware of those small 30-second moments that impact a child's life, right? These little things. And every little thing that you plop down is going to add up for them when they're older and remember that. And they do. Like we remember our childhood, certain things that made you who you are and whatnot. And that's so beautiful that you put so much effort into that. That's just really special.
It's really cute actually whenever the kids, they know that there's going to be a write-up about them that's going to get posted on their wall every single day until Valentine's Day. And so they look forward to it so much when Jessica puts it on there and they're like giddy and jumping and stuff. And then she reads it to them. And it's like a cool little positive trait about them that, sometimes they don't even see coming. And sometimes they're really proud of it. And it's really, really cool. They're little confidence builders for the kids and stuff. And it's,
I love like when they read it and they're like, I am really funny or I am really smart. Yep. And then we start talking like, it's almost like a little, like a note to start a conversation. It's like, oh my gosh, Dad, do you remember when you said that silly thing? Like, oh, I just love your humor. Like, what other times have you been really silly? And like, they'll just think about it and it really like establishes like who they are.
Right.
It's just like small things like that. Just like, you don't think that's a big deal writing a note to them, but I mean, they talk about it and they remember. And I feel like it helps them in the world, in school, and to have that confidence.
Yeah. Do you have any other family traditions that you guys do?
We have too many. Which one stands out to you?
For me, like we're talking like full, like I said, like on max. Like they like took the knob and went all the way. Like even for St. Patty's Day, like for us, we would just like in my family, you wear green. That's it. You're like,
Sure.
St. Patrick's Day. But she would go all out, like where they go and they bury gold coins outside of the garden. So you go and they bury it. And then when they come back, it's a giant lollipop. And so
a rainbow lollipop.
Oh my gosh.
And then they come back, and of course it's perfectly orchestrated. So when they go back, they see a clue on the ground, and they're like, hey, the leprechaun left a clue, because there's a leprechaun door.
Right.
Oh yeah, we have a little leprechaun door.
A little leprechaun door where the leprechaun will come out and leave these little trivia things that they have to go now on a treasure hunt. And so that they read this clue, they think of the answer, like, oh, wait, it's over here. So they go run upstairs and they go into like the bedroom, find the other clue, and at the end is a treasure chest. And you open it and it's just like gold coins. There's like candy there. Yeah.
Well, it seems like you guys keep your kids really active and like brain activities and doing cool things and just keeping it going, not just sitting around. Like, I feel like it's hard nowadays with kids too. It's like iPad kids, like just like, what do you do
And
with
we're
them?
not perfect.
No,
Well, no, I mean, you also have to
They're
like
off camera right now on iPads.
literally,
It's
but
not
I mean, at
perfect.
some point you have to give the kid the iPad so
I
they
know,
can focus and stuff. But it's such a hard balance because
It is.
when we were younger, I mean, we didn't have that, right? We
No.
were outside all the time doing activities, and I feel like even these little things that you do just keep the brain working a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So, what does happily ever after mean for you and your family?
I mean, I think it's just preserving your family in like its own little bubble of like, is it silly to say like happiness and love, like a piece of heaven or something, just to like have this time together. Like when you step into the house, I hope that you feel that it's different, that it's like calm, peaceful, like full of love, full of acceptance. Like I want my kids, when we're together, to feel like that this is where I feel safe. This is where I feel comfortable. This is where I feel loved. And I hope our efforts, like we were talking about, like, Richard made a ton of effort to make things magical for me. And I feel that, and I hope to make things magical for them. And I think we're just always orchestrating in order to create this little place where they can look back on their memories and be like, I just felt so loved, and I felt like my life was magical. And that happily ever after doesn't just stop when you get married. It continues throughout your life. And that does take effort. It's not as easy as you think it is, but it's worth the effort.
Were both of you raised in this type of culture at home where it was so loving and so focused on that? Or did you guys kind of did you figure that out on your own, that you wanted to create an environment in your home like that?
Do you want to answer?
She makes fun of me because like it was just a bunch of bros. Like we
you and your brothers.
But
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah,
It's
not
that-
work.
it's
Like
not
worse or better.
I realized pretty quickly like where she came from. She learned it from like you said your grandma, right? Like,
My great grandma, she was like the OG of making magical moments for her family. She used to fill the backyard with water, and we would all she would flood it, and we would all just play back there and splash around. And she would make these little like stone paths, and we would put like our handprints in it and put our name in there, so she'd always remember it. Like I just have so many like amazing memories. And my great grandma, my mom saw what my great grandma was doing, and like she did it for us.
Okay.
And then, you always want to like do the same, or if not better than like those before you. And so like I learned from my mother. And so I really try to, that's how I like give love, and how I like want, or how I hope they feel love.
she's really good at making those pure joy moments like we were talking about.
Oh, I mean, I feel it now.
And, yeah.
I feel it now.
So you want to get adopted into the
No,
family?
like,
Can I
actually,
be
like,
your
can you
dog?
guys adopt me? Do you want a sister?
Yeah. Get adopt, yeah, exactly.
Oh, Cozy would love
Cozy
a
would
sister.
I'll come hang out.
Yes.
I'll play princess. I'll play older princess girl. So I want to play another game with you.
Oh, another game. There you go.
Yes, but I think let's bring in the kids.
Oh, for the kids. All right.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some very special guests today. Would you mind introducing yourself?
My name's Maverick.
Good job, buddy.
What's your name?
What's your name?
Cosette.
Cosette.
Ooh, so cute. Oh my gosh. I have to say, I absolutely love your dress. By the way, everybody, this was an accident. We just matched because
Or
we're
was it? Or was
twins.
it? It was fate. It was fate.
It was
man.
fate. Exactly. So now we're going to play a really fun game called Who is Most Likely To. So it's either going to be mommy or daddy, okay? Okay, so question number 1. Who is most likely to fall asleep first? Daddy!
That was
Dad.
immediate.
That was a little too quick. I know, that was too quick.
Who is most likely to take the longest to get ready? Mommy, we got 3 moms and
Mommy.
1 dad.
She's like girl power. She's gonna
Yeah, Whose cooking would the kids rather eat?
Mommies or daddies?
Mommy or daddy's cooking?
That's right.
Dad.
That's right.
He
Okay.
makes a good steak.
I know. I always make steaks.
Who is most likely to lose their phone? Oh wait, Cozy got dad. She's a mama's girl.
I know.
Who do the kids most likely want to play video games with?
Who plays video games with you?
Oh, Cozy on a mommy's team again.
That's my girl.
Did you coach her?
Right? Who's most likely to take selfies?
He's like,
Oh, we got
split in the middle.
a 50-50, mom and dad. Okay, so mom and dad, who do you guys think?
Mom,
I think that Daddy takes the most selfies, but I take a lot of videos of you guys.
No.
Okay, last but not least, who is most likely to have a surprise? Mom.
Yeah, mommy's got the surprise.
Mommy's got that lockdown.
I love surprises, huh?
Yay, thanks,
Good job, guys.
That was so fun.
Cozy, we'll talk about this later.
Okay, so speaking of surprises, I heard you have one for us.
Yeah, do you want to?
No, you got it. Yeah.
We are expecting
Yeah.
another
There's
little one.
another cute little guy coming. Yeah. Or girl. We don't know yet.
Oh.
But we will when we make our video. So we actually love to make these, of course, movie moments. We actually make these little gender reveal movies. And so there's a really cute one with Maverick whenever he found out that she was pregnant with a baby that we didn't know if it was a little sister or a little brother. And so we filmed this cute little thing of Maverick like peeping behind trees and like going into the forest and finding a little Easter egg, like little carriage, right?
Yeah.
And then he opens the Easter egg and pink confetti just falls right out.
Oh
So that was
my
So we're gonna
gosh.
do one for this little one too.
Yeah, so we got a version of that we're gonna shoot.
They're gonna be surprised.
So stay tuned and you can see the video.
Well, from the studio here at Real Talk, we have a little gift for you. A little
Wow.
surprise,
Little
if you will.
Gift
We
giving.
surprise
Yeah.
the surprise king and queen. So,
Oh, my
that's
God.
so sweet.
yes, we love you
my
so
gosh.
much.
Thank
That's
you.
so kind. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
That's
Look
so
at that.
cute.
That gets us probably through 2 days of
Is
diaper
it
changing.
2 days?
Does it? Yeah.
2
Yeah.
days. blowouts and everything. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you for that.
Thank you
Of course.
so
Thank you guys
much.
so much for being here today. You are just the light of my personal life
Oh.
now, and so inspirational in so many ways, just personally, your relationship, your family values, your work ethic, so much. I just feel honored to have even spoken with you for a couple of hours. And
we're honored too.
Thank you.
it really just warms my soul, truly.
You're so
And
great. This was awesome. This
Thank
was fun.
you.
So much fun. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, and do you have anything else you want to say to our Real Talk fans?
We got a new series coming, so definitely stay tuned for that one. Like I said, it gets really crazy. There's like the highest of highs, lowest of lows. It gets pretty dark on this one, so you're gonna feel the feelies on this one.
All the drama.
All the drama, and Real Shorts does drama like no other. So, thank you so much for being an amazing community that you are. I think I want to follow up with that. Is that like even during the wildfires, I mean, we shared during the podcast that they reached out to us personally in our DMs and they said, is Maverick and Cozy okay? Are you guys safe? And you guys are just the best fans in the world. And we want to appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Love you. See you next time.